Attain stellar rendering results with new shaders and global illumination enhancements in Cinema 4D Release 14. New shaders allow you to simulate wood, weathering effects, and normal maps, while the addition of unified sampling and radiosity maps allows faster, more accurate global illumination rendering. The all-new procedural wood shader in Cinema 4D Release 14 offers a very realistic representation of wood grain, with the flexibility to render annual rings or uncentered wood. Parameters allow you to easily tweak the coloring, scale, grain, and waviness of the wood grain. The weathering shader allows you to procedurally simulate the effects of wind, rain, and the elements by blurring a texture according to its UV coordinates. You can place weight on the bright or dark areas and adjust the intensity of the blur via a second texture or shader. Normal maps are a great way of simulating fine detail on low polygon meshes. They offer better results than a bump map and render much faster than displacement. The new normalizer shader makes it easy to generate these tricky maps by sampling a provided texture. You can modify the strength and softness and choose between 3 different filters to calculate the normals. The subsurface scattering shader in Cinema 4D Broadcast Visualize and Studio has been further enhanced with an option to calculate the scattering directly when texturing objects with changing point counts. You can enable single scattering to more accurately represent the effect of light on thin objects like leaves or paper. Finally, there's an option in the render settings to quickly disable subsurface scattering for preview renders. There's several other little tweaks to speed up your workflow, like a new option to evenly distribute knots within any gradient so you can quickly create repeating patterns. Also, the specular and specular color channels have been merged into a single tab, so you can control all your specular settings in a single location. The global illumination effect in Cinema 4D Broadcast, Visualize, and Studio has been enhanced with a new sampler based on the physical render engine. With multiple important sampling of the surrounding surface, area lights, and sky, you can dial in the number of samples used in calculating each of these illumination sources to achieve a higher quality render in less time. The new sampler also now supports radiosity maps, which speed up rendering by caching the radiosity solution in special textures for each polygon in the scene. Because radiosity maps are limited to a single bounce, they work best in adding GI to scenes that have already been lit. Because radiosity maps can be separately cached, they can be reused as you continue to tweak the IR and QMC settings, speeding up the process of finding the ideal render settings for the scene. Cinema 4D Release 14 inches one step closer towards rendering reality, providing greater flexibility and speed in setting up your shaders and lighting to achieve outstanding final imagery.